No, they're not.
That's the weirdest part. Oh, wow.
Well, hey guys, welcome to another episode of LEGTV. I am your commissioner, John David Brake, and this is only the fifth time or sixth time I've done this on oxycodone, but this week was way too important not to discuss. First of all, we gotta go to the scoreboard here because some big things happened. If I can get this microphone to chill out for a second. So there were some games last week. Nickel to nickel got beat. What a terrible game that was. Both teams underperformed terribly, and thank God for Tyreek Hill. The Clock Gobblers barely survived thanks to Travis Kelce not being able to do anything last night, or Monday night I should say. Mick Barton, big win, Mickey boy, 219 points, are you for real? Mick is on fire. Speaking of on fire, Abalash Reddy gets the dub. He is also one of the hottest teams in the league, but not as hot as Joe Murdoch, who has now rattled off 5 wins in a row. So Abby beat his brother. That should be stated. 153, 148. Joe got the big dub, wins by 5 points. Plow was in second place. Took him down by 5 points. And he's won 5 in a row. Now Joe's in 5th. And then upset alert. Whoa, I would have called this if I had done a video last week, but working from Mahomes takes out Jabil's Modellovirus 160 to 140, thus putting Jabal all the way down to 7th place. And he was like top 5 there. So what a turn of events here. As I stated, I got hip surgery, and I'm recovering right now. You saw the video from earlier. So yeah, but I could not do this video. It's like a really important week. So let's go to the Week 12 matchups for this Thanksgiving week. Okay, let's go to the first Week 12 match. This is for all the marbles. There's like 3 games that are game of the week. It's crazy. This is why I'm doing this. It was too important not to do. And this is one of the most important ones. It's number 1 versus number 2, Red Hot Jabrili Peppers. Myself taking on John Dahlgren at number 2. He's back. He's back in the top. What he's done is nothing short of miraculous with all the injuries. So hats off to you, Mr. Dahlgren. Now, I'm projected to win kind of decidedly here, but I don't know if it's really going to swing that way, and here's why. On my side, the keys, I'm going to need huge performances from 2 players, and their names are Jared Goff. Now that Joe Burrow is hurt, Jared Goff is pretty much the only option. He's one of the top QBs, but he had a real stinker last week against the Bears, throwing 3 picks. So he has to stay up at the tippy top as far as getting 22 to 25, maybe 30 points to get this victory. And Derrick Henry, what's going on with Derrick Henry? I don't know what his deal is, but it's the Titans are bad, and anytime they get behind, it's the Tajee Spears show. Now my roster's pretty stacked with Tyreek Hill, the number 1 overall wide receiver, running back, tight end, non-QB player. Pairing him with Devontae Smith, who's coming on finally. And in the flex, Jaylen Warren is a nice play. And Trey McBride could be one of those X factors. But it's going to have to be Goff and Henry. And if Dahlgren's going to win this, he needs Josh Allen, obviously, to play. number 1 overall QB. However, this guy wins you games and he loses you games. Mostly wins you games, but check out who he's playing. He's playing the Eagles. And the next week he's got a bye. And then the week after that he's got the Kansas City Chiefs. So Dahlgren is in deep doo-doo with Josh Allen having not so favorable matchups, missing a very pivotal week next week. But for him, it's Mike Evans, man. Mike Evans is a huge part of his point production, taking over for Justin Jefferson being gone. He did have some nice Cleveland pickups with Ford and Njoku, but Mike Evans is going to be that key for him to put up big points with Josh Allen. I do like James Conner in the flex. I think James Conner and Jaylen Warren kind of balance out, and I might give myself the advantage on defense. So I am going to pick, because I know how these things turn out. I look for very poor performance from my team. I'm picking dog. Okay, let's go to the next match. What does the border say? Dan Nickel taking on Joe Murdoch. The rivalry is renewed. These guys are in a must-win, especially for Dan, who's in 8th place. 6-5 Dan versus 6-5 Joe. Joe's the hottest team in the league. And here's my keys for victory for each team. Dan has really, really got to cross his fingers and hope Cooper Kupp is healthy, because he left the game with an ankle injury and he's day-to-day. That is not good news. And which Sam Howell will show up. That's also kind of crazy how up and down his season is, as Austin said on a few episodes back. And Tony Pollard finally had a good game for him. But really it's going to come down to Cooper Kupp and Sam Howell. Which Sam Howell will show up? Joe is benefited from like a 2019 resurgence. Alvin Kamara is looking like the old Alvin Kamara. He's put a string of good games together recently, especially just in the last 5 weeks. I mean, since week 6, he scored 17, 29, 27, 11, 18 points. So looks back, and then Saquon Barkley is definitely back. So the 2 running backs for Joe are definitely way big advantage, even though Dan does have Jamar Gibbs, who's pretty darn good. A.J. Brown didn't do him any favors last week. We'll see what happens in Buffalo. But I'm taking Joe. I'm taking Joe this week just because of the 2 running backs. And the 2 running backs, Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara, and Rachaad White. So he is using a running back in the flex. And I think A.J. Brown bounces back. But sorry, Dano, I think you drop another one here. Dan was actually the hottest team in the league until Joe just totally took over. So look out. He's doing the same thing he did last year. Murdoch is on fire. I think he's going to win that pivotal game. Not so pivotal. Not so pivotal of a game. Dak Street Boys taking on Anu Roger Goodell. Anu desperately needs a win. More than Austin does. He's pretty much out of it. 3-win team. Sorry, guys. You're not mathematically eliminated, but pretty much are. I mean, this, again, it's like Anu's dealing with injuries. Aaron Jones looks like he's going to be out for a while. Luke Musgrave, I think he's hurt too, but for Anu, it's always been Christian McCaffrey. That's his bread and butter. And so is Justin Herbert, which Justin Herbert's going to show up. Now, Hollywood Brown might have a bump with Kyler Murray back. We'll see. But I think Anu's going to lose this game to Dak Street Boys, thanks to C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins stack. I like that. I think they're going to do great against Jacksonville, and sprinkle in some Austin Eckler, and Devin Singletary, I guess, is taking over the role for running back for the Texans. Not sure what happened to Dameon Pierce, but this one I'm giving it to Austin. No problem. Now here's another game where it could be a potential spoiler again. Bears could play spoiler, taking on Mick Barton's A Cooked Goose for Everyone. Mick's in 4th place. I had the high scoring team last week, and he's catching fire just in time. Trevor Lawrence had a heck of a game, but he's no Patrick Mahomes. Even though Mahomes is kind of iffy this year, I still don't trust Trevor Lawrence. What's going on with Stephon Diggs? There's like an issue there in Buffalo. I said at the beginning of the year, like something's going on there, but he's steady Eddie. Stephon Diggs is, and he relies on that big time next to his Keenan Allen. I think Mick has the best 2 receiver stack, Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen. That's been awesome. And then you also throw in the flex with C.J. Stroud throwing to Tank Dell, but Tank Dell is hit or miss. So his keys are definitely Diggs and Allen to have big games. And not to mention David Montgomery in Detroit in a timeshare with Jamar Gibbs. How's that going to play out? Barris could play spoiler. Patrick Mahomes could have a bounce-back game against the Raiders. I know he will. He'll probably put up like a 40-point game. Puka Nakua's hurt too, but Cooper Kupp is going to be out, so it's going to be the Puka show. And Josh Jacobs against the Chiefs, not so sure. Kareem Hunt, I'm taking Mick. Sorry, Barris. I think Mick's going to win it this week. Stay in playoff contention. Let's see, 2 more games. Here's another one. Jabel taking on Nick Shook. Another possible spoiler. But I think Jabel's going to win this one. Jalen Hurts, what a game last week. A couple rushing touchdowns with the tush push, which I thought was a play ran out of San Francisco's playbook. Anyways, Jalen Hurts, obviously one of the top QBs in the league. I think he's right behind Josh Allen. Big question mark, Jamar Chase. How's he going to do without Joey Burrow, his buddy from LSU? How's he going to perform? We're not sure about that. I do know Brandon Ayuk should have a good game. He is the number 1 receiver in San Francisco. Brock Purdy looks amazing. And Adam Thielen in the flex, that's going to be huge. So for me, it's Brandon Ayuk and how Jamar Chase does. His 2 receivers are going to dictate if he can get a win. He is projected to win against Nick. Justin Fields is back against the Vikings. That may or may not be worth mentioning, but then it's like Travis Kelce, man. He's been Swiftified. He is not the same since they came out to announce they were dating. I mean, he did put up some points, 14 points, but that's not Travis Kelce numbers. Travis Kelce was scoring like 40 and 20 up until like week 8 when the Swift phenomenon happened. So I'm taking Jabel this week. Here's the last game. Huge playoff implications here. Another game of the week. Abalash ready, 6-5, taking on Plows. Rocky Vicious is 7-4, who's now in 3rd place. Suffered that defeat to Joe. This is going to be a close one. Plows projected to win by 10, but I think Abby's going to pull off another one here, and here's why. Now, on Abby's team, obviously the Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb stack has been on fire the last few weeks. It's carried him here into 6th place now for playoff contention. I don't know about Raheem Mostert, though, with Devin A-Chain. Is he going to be healthy? DK Metcalf's kind of banged up. But I really like the stack. The Dak Lamb stack is good, and he has a really good defense. Not a lot of people pay attention to defense as much, but he's got a good one. And over on Plow side, Lamar Jackson against the Chargers. Obviously, Lamar's been pretty decent. He's had some up and down games recently, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's also been steady Eddie, just like constant point production. Very old reliable, they call him, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And now the problem for Plow is those Madison's looking like he's going to lose his running back job to Ty Chandler. I don't like Plow's running backs. I don't like Williams. I don't like Madison this week. Williams is going up against the Browns. Madison's going up against the Bears. I don't like that, but I do like T.J. Hawkinson. That's a good play. He has the advantage at tight end. And then the flex, Garrett Wilson. He's questionable. I'm not sure if he's going to suit up with the elbow, but he's the only game in town, and they benched Zach Wilson. So good things happen for the Jets when they bench Zach Wilson. Whew. All right, we're done. I need to go to bed because I got hip surgery, and I'm on pain meds. So there you have it. That's your Thanksgiving week roundup for Week 12. Very pivotal week. Pivotal? I said it again. Very pivotal week. But everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. And hopefully I will see you for week 13 LEGTV.
Happy Thanksgiving, Pilgrim. Hey, Pilgrims. Happy Thanksgiving, Pilgrim. Here's John Wayne at the first Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Pilgrims.